Driverless cars, robotic bricklayers, killer drones. That's just the start. Artificial intelligence is about to transform civilization. And how are we consumers reacting? Polarized. Some love it. Some are embracing technology. They're using it to create time, to improve their productivity, to even improve their moods. Like, how am I sleeping? Help me with my well-being. Am I doing the right pace? How's my heart? Others are going human-centric. Back to analog, back to community, back to the roots of how things were begun. Of course, you don't know it, I haven't got a figure, but I know companies are spending millions and millions on artificial intelligence. It's going to impact everything we do, everything we touch. It is the fourth industrial revolution. But this revolution is going to happen 10 times faster with 300 times the impact and 3,000 times the scale. Huge. Of course, robots and artificial intelligence are all for the good. They improve productivity. They could add, for example, for the British economy, £250 billion, 10% by 2030. They don't need food. They don't need light, they work 24/7, they don't moan, they don't strike, they are accurate, they don't make mistakes. In fact, they could save our lives. Humans are fallible, we make errors. Robots do a tough 100% job. That's why they're used in surgery in hospitals. That's why they're used in dangerous situations where there's toxic chemicals. That's why they're used in war. In spite of all this promised economic progress, there is no doubt that AI and robotics will be taking away jobs. Silicon Valley doesn't want to say this, doesn't want to be involved with job losses. The promise is, wow, amazing. Just look what happened with Ford. Yes, the automation of the Ford car industry took away a lot of jobs, but then it created a lot of other jobs. Garage mechanics, spare parts, driving instructors, etc., etc. Robotics and AI will do the same. It will take away the drudgery. Who wants to work in a call center? Who wants to be a secretary? You can do other things with the time liberated for you. You can become creative. We will have 6 million artists. You think that you're creative, you won't have problems. Yes, we all know robotics will replace repetitive jobs. Waitresses, bank tellers, bricklayers, all those jobs which are done by rote. Creatives, oh, we're in the 90% safety bracket. But are you sure? IBM's Watson is already creating dress collections. How does a robot, how does a computer create fashion? Algorithms. The computer analyzes 6 years of archives, 6 years of collections, 6 years of what's been going on in the fashion world. The colors, the shapes, the fabrics, what's selling, what's not selling. You take 24 days, 2 months to create your collection. Cutting, pasting, sticking, looking, comparing, colors. The computer does it in 24 hours and comes up with the best answers. It's not only fashion, it's music. Computers and AI are creating music lists. They're creating painters. Look at Google's deep senses. They are even telling people how to write best-selling books. Always have an up and down pace, always have a lawyer, always have some romance. That's what people love. But robotics and artificial intelligence is not just a threat to your job. There are other problems. AI can be a good co-worker. It can bring you the coffee. It can work with you. It can help you. But it can also spy on you. It can also tell your boss what you're doing. Are you looking at Facebook while you should be working? Are you doing Instagram when you should be doing the accounts? These job losses could create a hugely divided society. A small number of super top people controlling artificial intelligence. A huge underclass, as Yuval Harari puts it, of useless people. That will provoke social rebellion, revolution. Or even worse, Elon Musk calls it unleashing the demon. A lot of people in Silicon Valley are prepping or getting ready for a machine takeover, a matrix world, building subterranean places to escape. I don't know if that's really going to happen. We have to see. In the meantime, we could see a real shift to humanization, because the real future will be human-centric for the human people. We're already seeing a leveling off. When I was younger, the intelligent, the upper class, all speak very posh English, and they would listen to opera and Radio 3 and classical music. Now we're seeing an anti-snobby feel. pop culture mixing with high culture. Look at Hermès pop-ups for laundromats. Look at the Royal Opera House in Covent Garden using emojis. Look at the love of print again, but small books, easy books. Look at what happened to fashion. The democratization of fashion, the anti-fashion story started by Vetements and the DHL t-shirt going on this year as strongly as ever. Then we have a move into community. Not just shop local, support your community that we've seen for several years. We are seeing companies take stands. They are pinning their beliefs to their brand. They are spending more time not showing what they make or why it's good or why it's better or why you should buy it, but telling you exactly what they believe in. Look at Apple supporting LGBT. Look at other companies saying we believe in diversity. Adidas not showing the stripes, but its latest campaign showing Chinese, Indians, Africans, blacks, whites, pinks, you name it, all over the place. People taking a stand, using Instagram, using Facebook to out plagiarists, to out the copyists. Really, people making a stand for what's right. Then there's a whole love of ourselves, interest in human beings, our flesh. Have you seen the latest art exhibitions? Everybody looking at what is skin, what is inside us, how do we work? Kanye West's fabulous last campaign a year ago, showing all types of flesh colours. The whole thing by Sephora, everybody investing in not just 6 blusher tones, but 44 blusher tones. Tights to cover every skin. We are embracing the world in all its diversity. And this diversity is even leading us into a new approach to fashion. Have you noticed how fashion has changed? It's not about being sexy, showing legs, pushing the tits up anymore. It's about modesty. People are really covering up. Layers, big skirts, long skirts, cover-ups, etc., etc. And fashionistas are actually embracing the Muslim world, designing for Muslim women, just as Nike is doing in sports. This modesty leads us into the next question of nostalgia. When things are tough, people always look to the past. They're also looking to the past for roots. And at the moment, we are deeply entrenched in the 1990s. If you looked at the last catwalk shows, Italy was all about the 1990s. Versace even brought back the supermodels, Naomi, all the rest of them, back on the catwalk to remind us of how it was. But it goes deeper than that. People are reading again. Sales of electronic books are going down. People are starting to read print. There is a revival of magazine interest, especially by millennials. And the fabulous big Parthenon of books, an artwork built of banned books, which was the centre of D16. Absolutely super, nostalgia is strong. And with the nostalgia comes a real wish for clarity. We don't want clutter anymore. We don't want to show off big, huge stereo systems and speakers and 55,000-inch TVs. We want small gadgets which help us, which are discreet, which we can put in the corner. We need it to help us living, but we don't want to show off anymore. And look at all these clarities, all these campaigns for t-shirts, simple things like razor blades which you throw away, things which make our lives easier, but don't clutter them. And in this world, escape will become even more important. I don't need to tell you who live in Copenhagen, I live in Amsterdam, Barcelona, we are overwhelmed by tourists. Airbnb, cheap airfares have made our cities impossible to live in. But escape will become important. So if it won't be physical travel, it will be virtual travel, virtual sport, virtual around the world. And don't forget, there'll be mental escape, not just in culture and reading, but recreational drugs. Notice how we're talking about LSD again, hallucinogenics, all the new graphics, all the new films. It's really back to highs which help us escape. But the real change is the transformational economy. I've touched on this before, but this transformational economy is getting stronger and stronger. We are moving from an experiential economy where people say, I don't want to possess things, I want to have an experience. I'd rather spend my money having a weekend in an art gallery or traveling here or eating well than having a new pair of shoes. This experiential economy is now moving into the transformational economy. That is where people want companies to help them transform their lives, to make their lives better, to make their lives easier, to elevate them, to lift them higher into a better future, which is better for them and better for the world. Talking about all this brings us to our colours. We chose the theme love. And if you look around you, have a good look around you, and you look at, there's so many campaigns talking about love. I've seen it in shop windows, I've seen it in fashion, I've seen it in books, I've seen it everywhere. Love is a big concern. And love was the theme of our summer 2019 Pantone View Colour Planner. There are 9 chapters in our love story. The first chapter is wistful, barely there, tranquil, peaceful tones that form the basis of a whole summer story. Then we have unrequited, sombre, colour drained away, white in its purest form, Bordeaux for blood, and black and white to complement this sombre story. Love transport, love fills us with energy, a powerful palette transportive of turquoise greens and blues. And where would love be without the sensual? Our palette of reduced and adapted pinks. Yes, pink again, because pink keeps evolving. The beginnings of love, the stirrings of love, our palette budding, a story of greens and browns, energy of nature's shoots. Treasured, the things we love, not just the people, but our toys from childhood, the things we want to have around us, our strongest and most brightest palette. We celebrate love with celebration, a palette of timeless earth tones that gives us a feeling of certainty. Then there's life force, welcoming colours that zing, feeling of sweets and vitamin tablets. And lastly, we have veneration. We venerate love. A palette of blues as timeless as the sky and heaven, coupled with the purity of whites. And we finish it all off with gold. Love, as strong as ever, however big artificial intelligence will be.